Hey guys, it's Jessica. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the end of the year book tag. This tag was created by Ariel Bissett, who has a podcast about books and also a channel where I think she mostly renovates her house now, which I watched a ton of when I was renovating my own Victorian home. And I try to do this tag every year. And this year, it looks like she has updated the questions a little bit, so there are a couple more. So we're going to start with question number 1, which is, are there any books this year that you still need to finish? Yes. The answer is yes. I have 2 books that I have not finished this year, one of which I may not be finishing this year, and the other one which I also may not be finishing this year, but these are the 2 books I have unfinished. The first one is The Last Wish from the Witcher series. And this is the first book in the series. It is a collection of short stories that were previously published in like magazines and things like that were all put together. And I have gotten to about 40% of the way through this book. And I've actually decided that I'm probably going to put it down because there is a new translation, a new English translation of this coming out next year. That's being translated by, I believe, the same translator who did the rest of the series. And a lot of people complain about the translation on this book, and I don't think it's great. Although, obviously, I haven't read the originals because I don't speak Polish, but I'm not sure it's great. So I'm thinking I'm going to put this down and wait for the new translation to come out, and then I'm going to compare them because I think that'll be kind of fun. So this one is probably going to be on the back burner until I think sometime next year, maybe late next year that's coming out. I'll have to look that up and see when it's coming out, but I'm going to wait on this one. And then the other book I haven't finished is My Shame, and that is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. I read Pure Nessie by this author this year and loved it. Loved it. 5 stars, so good. And I thought I would give another chance to this one, which I had previously DNF'd when it first came out or sometime around then. It's so long, you guys. The version that I have is actually like 800 pages long, but I've seen paperback versions of this that are like 1,200 pages long. So it is a chunky book full of extensive footnotes written in a quasi-Victorian style about a magician named Mr. Norrell and someone named Jonathan Strange. And I don't know where I am in this book. I think I'm at about 15-20% of the way through, and I got very, very paused on this because I was just struggling to want to pick it up. But I do want to read it because I was enjoying the parts that I had already read. I just quit reading it for some reason. So I want to continue reading this. I honestly, it's so long, guys. I don't know if I'm going to finish this by the end of the year, even though I will say that December feels like it could be a perfect time to read some quasi-Victorian literature. But we'll see. We'll see. But this one is still on the TBR. I haven't forgotten that I was reading it. It's just slow, very slow. Question number 2 is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into this time of year? This question always makes me feel like I don't know what time of year I'm supposed to do this tag because November feels right to me because I still have time to finish some things. But earlier than that doesn't feel like the end of the year yet to me. But it's already autumn. I don't know. So I have some books that are going to help me transition between autumn and winter is how I'm going to interpret that. The first one that I'm planning to read this month is Murder at Spindle Manor, which is a fantasy mystery that I have been meaning to read for ages and ages and ages. And I'm really excited to get to it this month. And there is something about a mystery in particular that feels like winter to me, and I don't know why. It is that in the wintertime, I think I feel a little bit more like reading mysteries, particularly traditional kind of set in the past or written in the past mysteries that are set in manor houses and things like that. I don't know if this one is like, it says manor on the cover. It probably is. Okay. Okay, Jessica. All right. So, and then the other one I have to transition into winter is got such a wintry cover, and that is The Foxwife. And this one's on my November TBR. And I'm really looking forward to that because that cover really makes me feel like we are going to be getting into winter. Question number 3 is there a new release that you are still looking forward to? And the answer is Most definitely. You all know that I love to read a new release book, and I try to read all the ones that I'm interested in as much as I can with balancing library holds and things like that. So this month I'm excited to read a new book from T. Kingfisher. She has had like four this year. I don't even know. This is Snake Eater, and it is the story of a young woman who gets a divorce and goes to visit her aunt, who turns out to be missing, but stays there and finds out that there are some strange things going on in her aunt's small town. I don't know how the snakes are going to come in, but I assume they are. I'm going to be reading that one this month. And then I also have Slow Gods by Claire North, which is a space opera that I think is going to lean very, very literary. And I am so excited to read that one as well. I think it also has a beautiful cover and cannot wait to read those two. So one fantasy horror and one science fiction that I am definitely looking forward to reading before the end of the year. Question number 4 is, what are 3 books that you plan to read before the end of the year? And I'm going to give you 3 books that are not from my November TBR, which I've already posted. So these are 3 books that are actually from purchases that I know I'm going to be making before the end of the year, because I am trying not to not read the things that I buy. So I have 2 books that I have ordered from the Aardvark Book Club subscription box, which is similar. If you don't know about it, it's similar to Book of the Month, where you get to pick books every month and they send them to you. And they are less expensive than buying a traditional hardcover, which is no good if you don't read them. So I, in this box, ordered Kill the Beast by Sarah Swift, which has a fantastic cover. I mostly bought it for the cover and also for the odd comp titles that it has, which are The Witcher and Howl's Moving Castle. 2 books that are indeed both fantasies, but 2 books that are more different from one another I can hardly think of. So I think it's going to be a cozy, but also somehow gritty fantasy. That's what I'm getting from that, and I'm really looking forward to reading that. And the other one that I got is This is the Place We Buried Your Heart by Christina Henry. This one is a haunted house story. I love a haunted house story. I've never read anything by Christina Henry, but I do know that she is a very popular horror writer, so I thought I would pick this one up and give it a try. And the last one is actually the book that is coming to me from the Broken Binding. This is their fantasy pick for November and December. This duology. This is the first book is Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames, and I have meant to read this for a long time. I have never read it, but now that I'm going to own a copy, I'm not going to have an excuse. This is a grimdark, I think, very humorous style fantasy, and I'm looking forward to seeing how I feel about it. But I have heard very good things, and I did go ahead and read the first couple chapters online before I said yes to the book, because I wanted to make sure I would like it. And it looks like it's going to be perfect. So I'm excited to read those 3 books. Question number 5 is, what trends have you noticed in your reading this year? And this has been such a great year for me, figuring out what I look for in a book, what I resonate with in a book. I think I'm going to probably do a whole video on this, but I have learned, and I was actually not aware of this before, that I am primarily a character and theme based reader. A book can have a plot that is much lighter than some people would be willing to accept, and it's fine with me as long as the characters and the themes are good. If a book is very plot heavy and it has terrible, shallow characters that don't feel like real people, I will not like it. And I think that that sometimes puts me at odds with books that are very popular, because a lot of books are very fast paced, but don't care as much about the character development. And I care a great deal about the character development. So that's something I have learned, is that I have to watch for that in books. I've definitely noticed myself putting down books that do not have good character development or are very surface level and don't interact in any way with any deeper themes. I have also allowed myself to kind of read freely from whatever genre I want, but primarily I find that I read a lot from speculative fiction. It's mostly what I read here on the channel. I read fantasy, science fiction, horror, and I sometimes read mystery. Mystery, though, I love a mystery that has like a speculative twist. That's my favorite thing, but sometimes regular mystery too. And sometimes something else. Sometimes I'm in the mood for something else. But I would say that primarily those are the things that resonate with me, that I love so much. And I've been giving myself permission to not feel like I have to read things that I don't enjoy. And that has been so freeing. I highly recommend it. Question number 6, how do you feel about your reading goals? Is there anything you would like to change or abandon or add? Okay, so I did do a video last year on my reading goals. I also have reading goals in my reading journal that I can refer back to. And I would say that overall, I did okay. We'll see how I do by the end of December. I'll probably do a whole video on my goals, to be honest. I have met my numerical, what I'm going to call my Goodreads goal. I did that last month, I think. And I don't know moving forward if I'm going to set a number goal because I don't feel like, I mean, I keep track of it because I log my books, but it's not something I particularly care about. So in terms of my other reading goals, I can tell you all right now that I said I was going to read nonfiction, and I have not. And I said that I was going to finish series, and well, I might have done that a little, but not as much as I probably thought I was going to. So it's going okay, but not perfect. And that's okay because a goal is just a goal. You can change your mind in the middle of the year. You can read something else as long as you're still having a good time. It's not work. So as long as I'm having a good time, I'm doing it the right way. And the last question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2026? And kind of, I have already purchased my 2026 reading journal. I'm going to go in a different direction with that this year. I'll share about that a little bit later on. And I also have started looking ahead at some of the books that are coming out. I will probably do a video with upcoming releases that I'm excited about at some point in December or January once I've gotten my thoughts together. But I will share 2 books that are coming out pretty early in the year that I am very excited to read. And the first one is, I'm going to have to look at it because I can't remember it. It is Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter by Heather Fawcett. And this is by the author of the Emily Wilde series, which is a series that I absolutely love. And it's about cats. Cats, magic, cat shelter, mystery. I honestly, I don't know, but I know that I need to read it. And the saddest thing in my life is that no one has offered me an arc of this so that I can read it right now. But it is coming out in February, and I'm so excited. I'm already on the list at the library. I will be reading it. Cannot wait. And then the other one I will share right now is going to be coming out in January, and that is The Star Seekers by Nicole Glover. Nicole Glover is the author of the Conductor series, a series that I have actually not gotten around to reading yet, but this one looks so good. It is a historical fantasy set in the 1960s during the space race, and our main character is a female NASA magical engineer, because this is a fantasy, there is magic. And also, there's going to be a murder and there's a mystery, and all of these things sound like so right up my alley that I'm already on the list at the library. I am excited. I am ready to read this and so many more books in 2026. And that's it. That is the end of the year book tag. Again, if you want to see the updated list of questions, I will link Ariel's video below, and you can see the new list in the description. I hope that you all try it, and if you do, go ahead and tag me so that I can go watch your video and see what you were excited to read before the end of the year. So leave me a comment and let me know what you are thinking about before the end of the year, what you still need to get to, what you need to finish, what you might want to start out next year with. I would love to know the answers to all of those questions if you are so inclined. And if you are feeling quiet, go ahead and leave me the stack of books emoji because it just feels right. Still have many, many things to read here at the end of the year. I hope that you all have a fantastic day. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.